Welcome to the Approving Purchase Requisitions e-learning. At the end of this course, you will be able to describe and apply the key steps involved with approving purchase requisitions. Please choose one of the following. Please note where the table of contents, sound and navigation controls are located. Your local BHP Billiton Iron Ore 1 SAP training is accessed via the Learning Management System. Global BHP Billiton 1 SAP training and all 1 SAP tests are accessed via My Training. At the end of this module, you will be able to describe the difference between procurement types, know what to consider before processing an approval, describe the approval banding rules, navigate and approve a purchase requisition in My Work Centre. Describe why an approved purchase requisition is returned to your My Work Centre for reapproval.
One tonne of iron ore makes over half a tonne of steel. 1 billion tonnes of iron ore helps build nations. From the Pilbara to Port Tokyo, the iron ore produced by BHP Billiton and its joint venture partners is a building block that has helped Japan become one of the world's largest economies and has helped Asia grow. From the discovery at Mount Whaleback in 1957, we began developing what is now one of the world's highest quality and most efficient sources of iron ore today. Ports, railways and entire towns were built on the back of this global opportunity, some of it built using the very steel produced in Japan from our Pilbara iron ore. In 1965, contracts were signed with 8 Japanese steel companies for the supply of 100 million long tonnes of ore over a 22-year period. Within 4 years, the first tonne of iron ore was shipped to Japan on the Asumi Maru, just as Japan's expertise in manufacturing of automobiles, steel and shipbuilding was burgeoning, and trade opened up to international competition. Our iron ore helped build Japan and Asia's modern cities as workers moved from rural areas in pursuit of their dreams. It helped car exports increase 18-fold in the 10 years to 1975, and it helped construct the magnificent Shinkansen rail network that today carries hundreds of millions of passengers around Japan every year. Today, we celebrate the 1 billionth tonne of iron ore shipped to Japan, and we acknowledge the success and ingenuity of our Japanese partners and customers. We also acknowledge our people and the communities of the Pilbara and the role that they have played ensuring Australia's international reputation as a stable and reliable supplier of high-quality iron ore. Over the past decade, we have invested $24 billion to improve efficiency, infrastructure and technology to deliver a high-quality product that meets the needs of our customers.
Purchase requisitions are created, approved and then released before being processed into a purchase order. Without approval, the process will not proceed. Your approval authorises the goods or services to be purchased and charged to your cost centre. There are 3 types of purchase requisitions in 1 SAP. Materials Requirement Planning, or MRP purchase requisitions, are requisitions from catalogued materials. These have no approval workflow. Inventory management will review and release the purchase requisition to be converted into a purchase order. When an outline agreement is in place, the purchase order is automatically created. However, in some circumstances, they may require a review and manual release. Purchase requisitions are also created upon release of work orders. Additionally, purchase requisitions can be created manually within 1 SAP. These appear in the Responsible Cost Centre Owner's My Work Centre for approval. Upon approval, the purchase requisition is reviewed and released by the purchasing officer typically to be converted into a purchase order. Purchase requisitions linked to an outline agreement will automatically generate into a purchase order after approval. Only purchase requisitions created from work orders or manually are covered in this eLearning module. As a cost centre owner in collaboration with purchasing, there are some key points to consider before approving and releasing a purchase requisition. Has the correct cost centre been used? Does the purchase requisition contain an unrealistic price? The price may not be indicative of the perceived value or may not match the quoted price. Has the purchase requisition been created as goods instead of a service or vice versa? You can reject the purchase requisition and request a change of service entry sheet unblocker if the listed unblocker is unsuitable. Does the unit of measure match the quotation? Has a free text item been requested when a catalogued material should have been used? Where available, an e-catalogue should be utilised. Service purchase requisitions based on certain values require an outline agreement or quote. To obtain a quote, are there sufficient specifications or scope of work attached? Any purchase requisition valued under US $500 does not require a quote or approval. When valued between $500 to $50,000, a written quote can be attached by the requisitioner if available. From $50,000 to $500,000 requires a supply function endorsed written quotation. Between $500,000 to $2 million requires 2 supply function endorsed written quotations or sole source approval. For anything greater than $2 million, a contract must be utilised. Other considerations regarding whether a contract is required should be made. In particular, where a high or extreme safety risk is observed, the goods are deemed critical or commercial risk is high. The purchase requisitions you will be receiving in My Work Centre depends on where you sit within the organisational chart and which cost centre you're a part of. The organisational levels range from H up to A, with A having the greater value. Any purchase requisitions valued under US $500 does not require approval. Between $500 and $10,000 requires approval by a specialist, coordinator or supervisor. From $10,000 and $50,000, a superintendent will approve. Between $50,000 and $500,000 requires approval by a manager or senior manager. From $500,000 and $2 million, a head of function or a general manager will approve. Between $2 million and $20 million requires approval by a vice president. For anything greater than $20 million, the CEO or president will approve. It is your responsibility to action your workflow items within 3 business days. In the event of leave or absence from site, you must delegate your workflow items to an appropriate user. If you have not delegated your workflow items, your one-up supervisor will receive them for any approval actions. An outstanding workflows report is run weekly to ensure workflows are actioned in a timely manner. Now we will demonstrate the approval of purchase requisitions within One SAP. Within your inbox work items, click on the requisition requiring approval. This is an overview of the purchase requisition. When it is a goods purchase requisition, review the information within this screen. Scroll down to review the information. Check the cost centre is correct for this requisition item. Scroll down further. View the short text to know what you are approving. Ensure the quantity, unit of measure and price are realistic. Ensure the GL code is correct. When the review is complete, scroll to the top of the screen. When all the requirements of the purchase requisition are met, click Approve Charge to Account Assignment. Rejecting the purchase requisition will return it to the creator for change or deletion as per your rejection reason. Selecting Cancel and Keep Work Item in Inbox will leave the purchase requisition in your inbox for later processing. You will return to My Work Centre to action any further items. Click the next requisition requiring approval. This is an overview of the purchase requisition. For a service purchase requisition, ensure the service entry sheet unblocker is suitable. Click the requisition item number to review the full details of the service requisition. The Display Purchase Requisition window opens. Scroll down to view the line item tabs. Select the Services tab. Check the short text to understand what is being requested. Ensure the unit of measure is correctly listed. Check that the gross price is realistic and the currency is correct. Select the Quantity and Dates tab and ensure the delivery date is rational. Select the Valuation tab and ensure the total value is realistic. Now is a good time to see if a scope of work has been provided. Scroll to the top of the screen and select the icon to view if there are any attachments. When the attachment list wording is greyed out, it signifies that there are no attachments. In this example, there are attachments. Click the attachment list. To open and review the attached documents, double-click their file icon. When complete with the review of the document, click the Close icon to return to the purchase requisition. Select the Account Assignment tab. Verify the GL account. Ensure the correct cost centre is listed. Select the Source of Supply tab to review the outline agreement if applicable and vendor details. In this example, a vendor has not been identified by the requisitioner. The vendor can be manually added by purchasing after approval in the purchase order. The review of the purchase requisition is complete. Scroll to the top of the screen and click the Close button. When all the requirements of the purchase requisition are met, click Approve Charge to Account Assignment. Selecting Cancel and Keep Work Item in Inbox will leave the purchase requisition in your inbox for later processing. Rejecting the purchase requisition will return it to the creator for change or deletion as per your rejection reason. When you have clicked Reject Requisition Item, the Create Note window opens with the title Rejection Reason. Enter a detailed rejection reason. Click the OK button to submit the rejection reason. Click the Refresh link to update the inbox work items. The purchase requisitions you have actioned are removed from your inbox work items. The demonstration of approving purchase requisitions within one SAP is now complete. Let's review those fields we need to check before processing approvals. For a services purchase requisition, check the SES unblocker, GL account, cost centre, delivery date, agreement if applicable, total value, unit of measure, any attachments, text fields, and vendor if listed. For a goods purchase requisition, check the GL code, cost centre, price, text fields, quantity, unit of measure, and delivery date. As a cost centre owner, you must review specific information in a purchase requisition. When satisfied with the details, the purchase requisition will be approved. Once a purchase requisition has been approved, purchasing need to release it for a purchase order to be created. Before releasing, purchasing will review the information. They have the ability to reject a purchase requisition when incorrect or insufficient information is supplied. Upon rejection, the requisition will return to the requisitioner via the workflow with a rejection reason attached. This will remain with the requisitioner in their My Work Centre until they make the required changes and resubmit. After the requisition is amended by the requisitioner and resubmitted, it will require approval by the cost centre owner once again. Therefore, a purchase requisition you have already approved may return to be reapproved. To avoid reapprovals, it is important to ensure the details are correct at the first approval. Upon reapproval, it can be released to be created into a purchase order.
Benefits for surface mining with our company is that the surface miner has the ability to take the specific ore that we require from the ground with a minimal cost.
With the nature of the ore body in the Chichesters, surface mining is a critical part of our ability and our success to be able to mine this ore body. With the shallow, thin seams and the integrated waste, the surface miners give us the ability to separate the ore from the waste, thin, shallow strips, to where the majority of this ore body couldn't be mined conventionally. So it is a very critical role in our success. The servicing of the surface miner fleet is a continual development strategy with Fortescue and Wirtgen. I mentioned there's continual development work going on to increase the reliability through managing the fleet, managing the performance, increasing the life cycles on the fleet. Wirtgen plays a huge role in that.
Service support on the mine site is excellent. They are always here when we need them in regards to parts and availability and serviceability of our machines.
In this training, we have covered the different procurement types, what to consider before processing an approval, the approval banding rules, how to navigate and approve a purchase requisition, and why an approved purchase requisition may return for reapproval.